Montreal. I know. What was it like growing up in Montreal? And when did I know I wanted to become an actor? I tell you, Montreal, well, Canada. Canada is the great country. I mean, all these wonderful Canadian cities are, it is tangibly different here than anywhere else in the world. From the moment you step off an airplane and enter Canada, it is tangibly, tactilely different than any place else. And I have such a sense of warmth coming back to Canada because Canadians are different. And so it is in Montreal with the streets that remind me of my childhood and NDG. Exactly. But the thing I remember most about growing up in Montreal was the amount of snow that was there. Here, we don't have that. At least from the time I go back to Montreal, I don't see the drifts that used to be piled up on the streets and the sidewalk shoveled. You'd have mounds higher than 6 feet. People couldn't see over them, and the kids like me would tunnel underneath them. We'd tunnel through the sidewalk things until they invented that rotary machine that would spew, you know, so that they would chew up numbers of children and spit them out somewhere there. So they finally issued a law that you couldn't tunnel, or else then the snow stopped coming, and there's less snow. Do you find that? There's less snow. It's only 6 feet high instead of 16. Yeah, and it only lasts 9 months instead of 10. I understand. And when did I know that I wanted to be an actor? I think it was probably at a camp play where I was 6 or 7 years of age, and I had to say something to another camper who was playing a dog. And I said, like, goodbye. And I've forgotten what it is, but in the context, all the mothers and fathers in the camp play were there. And something touched them, that audience. They started to cry, the audience. I remember saying, goodbye. Holy cats, look at that. Look what I have done. I got power here. And then my dad would pick me up and said, here's my boy Bill. And he made them people cry. And I think I was off to the races at that moment. Yes, sir.
Why did you only make 2 seasons of...
Why did I make only 2 seasons of...
show.
A what?
TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker. Did you say TJ Hooker?
He said TJ Hooker.
There were 5 seasons of TJ. You only saw 2. You watched 2 seasons and watched something else. I continued on as the ratings went down because you turned up. You know, a series is based, the longevity of a series is based on the number of people watching, and no matter what whatever people say, oh, it's great, should be on, go on. If the audience isn't watching, the networks turn it off. We're in a moment now. This bleep, my dad says, has caught the imagination of CBS and Warner Brothers where we're shooting, and they love it. And we're in a honeymoon period. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh yeah, Emmy nod. I heard somebody say the other day, Emmy nod. Emmy nod? They love it, and we're in this honeymoon period because the ratings haven't come out yet. We're not on the air. Should we come out on the air and nobody watches? No, Emmy nod. And we got order for 13. And presumably they'll order what they call the back 9 as soon as they see what happens. But what happens if nothing happens? No back 9. And it's all over. So it's a function of how many people will watch. And that's why entertainment on television lives and dies. Over here, a question over here. Yes, young man. Oh, not a young man. A little old lady sitting in a chair. No, you're a young man. I get it.
I'm a journalist too.
You're a journalist too.
As a journalist, I want to know.
And as a journalist, you want to know.
You're hosting Raw Nerve, usually after.
Raw Nerve, Aftermath, yes.
Do you pick up any techniques?
Do I pick up any techniques?
What are your techniques?
What are my techniques in those things? Well, that's a really good journalist question. I wonder what journalism is. I don't even know what journalism is. You report like what you see. I mean, what is interesting to me is what's the truth of an event? What is the truth of anything? It's your version of facts and somebody else. I mean, in the car down here, we were discussing a friend of mine who took umbrage at something somebody said. He got angry. And the guy didn't mean anything. And he said, I don't understand the reaction. No, he reacted that way because somebody said. So what is the truth of an event? How do you find the truth of something that's happened? Whether it's a car crash or a political thing, or a thing in your family that somebody's doing something, you say, well, why are they doing that? What is the truth? It's a perennial question. It's an eternal question of what is the truth. And for me, that curiosity is what is my impulse in both Aftermath and in Raw Nerve. I don't have an agenda, and maybe that's what has made the people come. They see that I don't want to harm them. I don't want to get something tabloid from them. All I want to do is find out what the truth is from them, what their feeling is, what they saw, what they felt. So, a guy like Bernard Getz, the subway vigilante of some years ago. New York was in the middle of a crime spree 20 years ago, something like that. And this guy is looking for trouble because he's been robbed and beaten, pillaged somewhere, and he's walking around. He's a little nerd, not little, he's about 6 feet. He's a thin, nerdy guy, but he's packing a gun, and he's looking for trouble. What's going on in his mind? What's he thinking? Gets on a subway train. What? What's he talking about? Is he coming to attack me? Do I need to be alert? Is that somebody? What's he talking about? Are we okay? No, seriously. What? I'm in the middle of a story for that. See, what's the truth? I found it entertaining up till there. So Bernie Getz is packing a pistol, looking for trouble, and he gets on the subway train, and 4 kids accost him. And he draws this gun out and shoots 4 kids in the subway train. No question he did it. And he's let off. He had a trial, and they found him not guilty. Until 10 years later, when a civil suit was brought against him, he was found guilty. They had to pay a fine. Said I'm bankrupt, and didn't pay the fine. On the program that's been broadcast now, but it'll be repeated, he shows me what a fast draw is, and he tries several times. I haven't practiced in a long time. We provided him with a fake gun, and he's trying to draw the gun and show me how he shoots 4 people, and what you're thinking, what you're seeing, how you're feeling, what you squat, and what the people are doing, what their reaction is, and he hears the sounds. Well, that's the truth for him. Of course, the kids lying down on the ground, with bullet holes in them, there's a whole other truth. So that's my form of journalism. Okay? Yes.